I'm Josh.
And I'm Jen. Welcome to the Gospel Shaped Family Podcast.
Each episode brings biblical wisdom and practical conversations on parenting, marriage, and family. And we discuss how to disciple the next generation with a biblical worldview.
Whether you're raising children, shepherding a church, or longing to build a legacy of faith in your home, this podcast is for you.
Join us as we explore how to shape hearts, homes, and churches around the gospel, one conversation at a time.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Gospel Shaped Family Podcast.
Hey, it's good to see y'all.
Episode 1.
Yeah, this is a special day for us.
This is so fun. Podcasting, our next hurdle. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun. I'm so glad you guys are here.
So what is this all about?
What is the podcast all about? Well, Gospel Shaped Family, it's a reflection of us. It's an invitation to come on over and have a seat and grab coffee with us and hear what's on our hearts and hear what's on our minds and get a little glimpse into what's going on in our home and how God's shaping us and our families in real time.
Yeah, so we wanted to introduce ourselves to you all. Some may know us, probably most don't, and give you a glimpse into who are Josh and Jen Mulvihill and talk about why this podcast and what it's all about.
Yeah.
So, Jen Mulvihill.
Who is Jen Mulvihill?
Who is this Jen Mulvihill?
Well, hey everybody, I'm Jen. I'm married to Josh. Obviously, here we are.
Yay.
Josh and I have been married for 25 years.
Just celebrated
25 years. We took a
June
special
11th.
trip to London to celebrate. It was very dreamy.
It was good.
Yeah, we met in college, our very first day of college, freshman year. Whenever you go off to Christian college, there's like this joke that you're going to have a ring by spring. And yeah, we just hit it off right away. We dated all through college and then got married and right away, like sprung into ministry and moved and have done all these different fun adventures together. But 25 years goes by fast. 25 years goes by fast.
Would you consider yourself the old couple now?
We're old. We're old.
Yeah, we're getting there.
I'm glad though. Old is a blessing, right?
Old is good, especially
Old is a blessing.
old and married is not the norm
right?
anymore. So
You
yes,
see, that doesn't always, it's not that way for everybody.
yes.
So 25 years, we're still best friends. We're still doing everything together. Very fun. So we have 5 kids. And I would say our original intention was not to have a large family, but it has been amazing. 5 kids. Our oldest now is 19. His name is Jay, and he's going to be a junior in college this fall. And he is, your firstborn who is just delightful. He's an artist. He loves the Lord. He's going to school for ministry, worship ministry.
So Jen's a musician. I was a pastor.
Yes.
What do you get when you have a musician and a pastor? You get a worship pastor. That's what our oldest is on the path.
Yeah.
We'll see if he sticks with it, but he's very talented in both
He's
areas.
so talented, and he plays the guitar, and he plays a lot of other instruments, and he's always really had a song in his heart, hasn't he? And so it's fun to see him grow and to see him just be where he's at right now. Yep. This is a great season for him. So that's Jay. He is 19. We have a 16-year-old named Asher, our second son.
Just got his driver's license. Is that last week? Last week
ago today. The driver's license was an adventure. We should do a whole podcast on teen driving.
Yes. No accidents for either of our drivers yet.
Nobody's had an accident. He's
knock on wood.
Great driver, but he got his driver's license. That was an adventure. And Asher lives big. He is gregarious and funny, and he makes me laugh out loud literally every single day. He's very generous. Both of the older boys are working at a greenhouse this summer, and yesterday he came home from work and our entire front steps were covered in like colorful potted flowers. You
bought like a carload
of fresh flowers home.
That's great.
It was beautiful. That's who he is. It's wonderful. Our third child is Kate. She's 14. And Kate is the firstborn daughter, always by my side. Just wonderful to spend time with. She cooks and she makes the most intricate recipes. I mean, she's going to put Martha Stewart to shame someday. I mean, she cooks. She's so good at doing all just intricate things like hair braiding and crafting and sewing. And yeah, she's wonderful. She plays the flute. She loves the flute. She plays very well. She's got a whole group of teen girlfriends that are a delight. They are so much fun. But yeah, I love the teen years, and
they are good. People say, wait for the teen years. If your relationship is solid in the younger years, they tend to go well, and they have for us, not without bumps, but it's been wonderful.
Yeah, we're having a great time. Me and her plus a little like coffee run. That's fun. Yeah.
And then number 4 is John.
John.
Yeah. Tell us about him.
Oh, I'll share about John. So John is awesome guy. John, I like to say, never stops working. So we live on a farm here, and John is just Mr. Farm Manager. And
that's actually his title. We've given him farm manager title.
He thrives. He takes the initiative. He relishes in working hard, for caring for people and for things. He can milk a cow and raise a chicken. He can like wrangle, shoe the pigs and mow the lawn. He can drive the tractor. I mean, he is a worker.
And he's an outdoorsman.
He's
usually we'll often look outside, and he's walking away with a gun in his hand
to
go hunt something. And he'll come back with something hanging over his shoulder.
Always.
Yeah.
Always. He's a lot of fun. He's like a numbers guy. And so if you talk to him, guarantee he'll like ask numbers. When he was little, sometimes it was inappropriate. He'd be like, how much is in your checking account? To total strangers. But he's smart and he's good with numbers, and he's always thinking about that stuff. And so that'll do him well in life.
And then bringing up the caboose
is Emily.
Emily, yeah.
She just turned 10. Mm-hmm. Emily got her ears pierced last week.
It's a big week in our house. Driver's license, ears pierced. It was good stuff.
It was so fun. Emily also plays the flute. She is a singer and a musician. She loves cats, and she raises cats every single year from our little farm cats, and she nurtures the litters, and then she finds homes for them all.
We have a kitty ministry, so if you ever need a cat,
you just shoot us a message, and we'll hook you up with a really cute cat raised by Emily.
Yeah.
But she is very delightful, always singing, very funny and full of laughter, and together their personalities really balance each other out. And so I would say our 5 kids are fun as individuals. I genuinely love spending time with each and every one of them as individuals, but then as a whole, the dynamic is exciting. It's exciting. Like, we have such a great time all together. And it's a joy. It's a joy to be with all of them.
Yeah, the season we're in, it feels like we've moved from this kind of the younger little kids years into the teen, young adult years. And they're all, every season has got its joys and its challenges. This is a particularly fun one, though. So
it's been a great season. Yeah, it's been fun.
All right, so that's our family, which, of course, is the Gospel Shaped Family Podcast. We thought it'd be good for you to know a little about our kids.
About our family.
But tell us a little about you. You love music, as we heard, and you went to school to be a music educator. Mm-hmm. Band is like your world. Everyone in this house is a musician except for me.
That's okay.
It's wonderful because I get to hear everybody playing and singing, and there's always music in our home. And that's thanks to you. You're a very good musician. So tell us about that part of your life.
Well, I was a flutist. When I was young, man, oh man, I just had dreams of being a band teacher always. So I played the flute and piano, so I have a degree in music education. and did that, loved that. I taught public school and private school before we had children. I especially loved teaching at Schaefer Academy in Rochester, just the most wonderful private Christian school. And they actually had no band program when we got there. And we built that band program just from 20 kids. And now it's just flourishing and beautiful. But knowing, that we were going to have children. So when Jay was born, I took a pause from teaching band, taught private lessons at home for many, many years, had a pretty large studio. And, with the help of my parents, I taught in the evenings and we kind of made that work. But, fast forward, we're homeschooling, which again, we can share about that. Such a blessing. But homeschooling, our oldest was going into 4th grade and the band teacher and me said, we have to find a good band for him. But in the Twin Cities where we live, Minneapolis area, there was not a distinctly Christian band option for him. So I just decided, let's start it. Let's start that. So we started, this will be our 11th year now. We started with 22 kids at our church. And band has really become, our homeschool band has grown into being a huge program. So now we have 3 full bands. We have a beginner band. I start a whole group of beginners every year. I've been working on that. A middle school band, high school band. And we give homeschoolers just the full high school musical experience that they would receive in any traditional school with the high level of excellence.
And you just do that in your spare time?
On the side, yep, on the side. But all the kids come.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Play an instrument.
It's amazing what you can do in a few hours every week.
Power hours, my friends. Yeah. So I teach band. We homeschool the children, and I love doing that. And then, like we said before, we have a little farm.
Little?
It's a good sized farm.
Yeah.
And
what do you have? Well, I say we have. What do we have on this farm?
Okay.
So do you might want it? We'll introduce you to some of all of our animals have names.
Everybody's got a name.
And we'll introduce you to them throughout the podcast. But who's on the farm?
Okay. Well,
just quick though. We don't have to go through all of them.
With the chickens, we've got egg layers. We've got like 60 egg layers. The best one, her name is Miriam. She used to be a city chicken and now she's a country chicken. She relocated here to our farm and she loves hugs and carrying around. She's the sweetest chicken. She's a big fluffy white chicken, our only big fluffy white chicken.
Only white one, yeah.
And so we know when she lays eggs, we can see this is Miriam's egg in the sea of, eggs we get every day. We have pigs. We raise Kuni pigs. Annie's my best girl and Betty's out there. Perpetua is one of our ladies.
She's got an attitude. So
Perpetua has an attitude.
She may go to freezer camp later this year.
Freezer camp.
We'll see.
Yes. We have a boar named Alexander Hamilton and
Hammy for short.
Hammy for short. And they're friendly and sweet and they love belly rubs and they're delicious. And so we raise our
Is that legal to say?
I think so.
Yeah, that's right. Bacon.
Yes, bacon.
We just had a litter of pigs, so we got a lot of piglets 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
They're super cute. They're running all around and you can pick them up and snuggle them.
Yeah.
So we've got the piggies and then we have cows. Now we have Jersey cows. I milk Jersey cows. So right now I'm milking 2 cows. I'm milking Foxy, and she's a dream. She's given us between 3 and 4 gallons every morning. And then Dolly is my best girl. And Dolly, she's given us between 2 and 3 gallons a day. And we keep their calves. We raise their calves for beef. And they are rotationally grazed, grass-fed cows. We have many acres here for them just to graze and to eat and to roam, and they live a beautiful life.
So did you grow up on a farm?
No. I grew up as a city girl.
City girl, okay. So why a farm?
Why a farm? Gosh, Josh, you're pushing me there.
Just great.
This is great. No, so the farm stemmed out of a few years ago. It was pre-COVID. We're both big readers, and I kind of went down a reading tangent, reading books by Joel Salatin, by Michael Pollan, reading about real food and some of the effects of that. Now, at that time, Asher, our second son, was just struggling with a lot of allergies. Our kids would get sick every year. And as we started reading, we both were reading, and it just seemed to make sense to make some changes to our food. So at the time, we raised chickens, we did honeybees. Josh and Jay did the full U of M Learn to Raise Bees program. We added our sweet pigs that we have here at our previous little house, and over time, we've just become passionate about eating real food, eating clean food, eating food that is in its original state as God intended, as God gave it to us. So that includes cows that only eat grass and milk.
Mostly
grass. Well, they milk cows need a little bit extra for. Yeah.
But yeah, it's health reasons. We want clean food.
Yeah,
and we've been a lot more healthy. Not that we haven't been sick once in a while, but it's really rare compared to what we used. So we might end up talking about some food stuff because that impacts our families.
We see it in our kids. We see it in our kids and their health.
Yeah.
So
and then wrap up with couple of your favorite hobbies when you're not doing music, homeschooling, farm, all of the other stuff.
All the things.
What do you do if you got a little bit of time?
What do I do? Oh boy. Well, I'm a coffee drinker. I love to read, always reading. I like to sew and do like embroidery things. I love to do a DIY project. I've got a lot going at the same time.
Shopping.
I love to shop.
Okay, I was waiting for that one to come out.
That's not so holy though, Josh. I do love to go shopping
for a deal.
I love a good deal.
Yeah.
And then I love, just like getting together with friends, or we go out and we have so much fun. So
yes,
out laughing over coffee and catching up, and yeah.
Well, that's good. You're going to be the star of the show here. Yeah, that would be good.
No. You're the star.
That's great. Well, okay, I'll tell myself.
About you.
Yep.
Tell all about you.
Okay, so
where did you grow up?
Born in Arizona, raised in Texas. Now we live in Minnesota, and I love the weather in Minnesota, even though January's get a little sketchy. Other than that, it's good. But yeah, Minnesota now. I was a pastor for about 20 years, all here in Minnesota, working with families, children, and students. And transitioned out of that about 7 years ago. And I serve on staff with RenewaNation and get to train pastors, get to equip parents and grandparents. This podcast is kind of an extension of that. We're super passionate about family discipleship, and that was part of my background. As my parents were very intentional with me and my siblings, and I'm really grateful for that. The Lord's been really has really blessed our life and our family as a result of that. I'm on the board of Awana, so I don't know if we got any Awana alumni out there or individuals that are in Awana. Give a shout out if you,
Sparks.
Yeah, go Sparkies. All of our 5 kids went through Awana. And it's been a huge blessing for our family, just hiding God's word in your heart and learning core doctrines of God's word. So I've been on that 6 years now, and I'll be moving into the chair role in the next year at Awana. And I actually got a PhD a number of years ago, which is so funny because when I finished my undergrad, I thought in my head, I thought to myself, I am done. I am never going back to school again. And then I wanted to, was trying to get my first job as a pastor. 22 years old, most churches aren't clamoring to hire 22-year-olds as pastors. But there's one church in Rochester gave me a shot, but they said one requirement is you have to go back to school to seminary and get your seminary degree. And, it's kind of like, well, I'm not super excited about that. But I agreed to it. In hindsight, I'm really, really grateful they asked me to do that. And as I was going through grad school seminary, I realized I actually kind of like some of this. I actually am studying things that I'm interested in, not not things to get through a list. And so went back for PhD, focused on family ministry. That was at Southern Seminary in Kentucky. And it was funny, after I got that degree, my dad said to me, and this was like, don't take this like as a negative, but he's really proud, of course, but he said, you were the last of the 4 kids that I ever thought would get.
I didn't think that, just so you know. For the record,
I just really didn't care in high school. I mean, I didn't get bad grades, but it was like B's, and I was like...
C's get degrees.
C's get degrees, yeah. And I was like, I don't care. I'm like, there's no practical application to half of this stuff, so... But once I finally got interested in it, that changed. And so that was kind of funny what my dad said, but that's been a great blessing. That PhD taught me how to think well, and it taught me how to write well. And so out of that, I've ended up writing a number of books. So author of, I think, about 10 books on parenting and grandparenting. Yep. And one of them you'll get to hear a little bit about. You'll probably hear about numbers of them, but specifically, we're launching out with one of them called 50 Things Every Child Needs to Know Before Leaving Home. And we'll talk a lot about that book specifically here at the beginning of this podcast in some future episodes. I serve with a ministry called RenewaNation. We are focused on helping kids develop a biblical worldview.
Yes.
RenewaNation.org. Go check out that ministry. It's fantastic. And it is, I love serving with this organization, vision, the mission, the team that God has brought. And I get to do stuff with families that, I firmly believe church is really important for our family and our kids. And a lot of people build into their lives. It's absolutely critical. But in the home, as the home goes, often so goes our children. And so RenewaNation, I get to help strengthen the home and help parents get serious and grandparents get serious about passing their faith on. And how do we do that? And you'll get to hear some of that here with this podcast. And then my hobbies.
I was going to say, Josh.
What are my hobbies?
That sounds like a lot. What are you doing for fun?
Fun. I love the outdoors as well. So hunting, fishing, camping.
Always outdoors.
Always outside. I'm behind a computer for a lot of the day. So going and working with animals, or going outside and hopping on the 4-wheeler, or
moving hay.
All those things that's really good. In fact, we leave here in a few days. I'm going up to Minnesota border into Canada. We go, my sons and I. I was thinking my sons get to come when they turn 7. So I think this is year 12 or 13 for my oldest. But we've been doing this for 20 some years, and we drive till you can't go any further, put everything that we need for a week in a boat, and then we drive out many miles to an island, and that's where we live for a week. We're pretty much off the grid. Yeah. It's glorious. And, the boys and I were like counting down the days here.
Love it.
So if I don't make it back from that, it was nice. It was nice knowing you. You see more.
Put the plug in the boat before.
Yeah, we did forget that one year. That was a little adventurous, but that's great. This is like full-on guy adventure, and it's fantastic. So outside stuff's really fun. So there you go. Love the Vikings.
Love football.
I'm a glutton for punishment because they are just good enough to get you excited, and then they always let you down. But that's all right. I'm coming back for more.
I know. I know. That's how it is. All the Minnesota sports teams, you say at the start of every year, I love that. I have hope. It's going to be great. And then nothing pans out. Except for the 91 Twins. Then
one of these years. Yep.
We want to take a break and thank our sponsor, RenewaNation. If you've benefited from the Gospel Shaped Family podcast, consider hopping online and making a tax-deductible donation at RenewaNation.org today. Your generous donations make this podcast possible and further our work to help children develop a biblical worldview. Also, if you've enjoyed this episode, you can support us by leaving a 5-star review wherever you listen. This helps us grow and reach more families with a biblical worldview. Now back to the show.
Well, now is time for a segment we're going to call, What Are You Reading?
What are you reading?
Okay, what are you reading lately? You want me to answer?
I can answer.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, we both are really big readers, so this is going to be a regular segment on the podcast. This summer is my summer of Edith Schaefer. I'm reading as much Edith Schaefer as I can this summer. So, man, oh man, I can't remember when I read Hidden Art of Homemaking. It had to have been a number of years ago, and I love that book. I always come back to it. 2 years ago, I read just a boatload of Francis Schaeffer. I ordered all those books, and I did read Francis Schaeffer as a requirement for teaching at the classical school. But so now after I've read all this Francis Schaeffer, I thought, well, this will be my summer to read Edith Schaeffer. So I read What is a Family, where she talks a little bit about like family life, and she talks about just some nuances of their home and things that she learned. She writes with, I would say, very flowery language. And so you can just picture her speaking as you read her. But I read that, and I read Common Sense Christian Living, where she speaks a lot about continuity in the Christian life, continuity in your home, continuity in relationships.
And would you recommend Edith for others at this point?
I would. Yeah. I would recommend Edith Schaeffer. I'm finishing Tapestry, and then I'm going to read Affliction. I would recommend Edith Schaeffer. I would definitely recommend The Hidden Art of Homemaking. I think that belongs in I think every woman needs to own it, young and old. Hidden Art of Homemaking is just a gem of a book. I am not sure, I'm going to be honest, I felt a little stressed when I was reading The Tapestry. I was so stressed about their travels, and
they lived a very busy lifestyle.
Yes. Stressful childbirths, and it was stressful. So I had to take a break in the middle of that one. But I loved the Schaeffers and would recommend it. I will link, we're going to have show notes. I'll link in our show notes these books. I think everyone needs Hidden Art. Can I tell my goldfish story? Should I tell the goldfish story?
Sure. Okay. Short, but yes.
I don't know how much time we've got. So I was reading What is a Family? And Edith Schaeffer is just, her language is like sometimes like borderline poetic, And so she's talking about all of these things that make your home a center for like fostering creativity. And I'm reading this like, I want my home to be a place that fosters creativity. And so she has these lists, and it's like, music and books and fresh flowers and windows and time outside and pets and and I was like, check. I got them. Except for, so she's
oh, now I know what you're talking about. I'm like, goldfish. What is it?
So
got
she
it.
Says in the book that you should have it like makes me laugh when I think about it, a live fish in your home. So I was like, and she describes it.
This was just like 3 months ago, right?
Yeah, when I started. And I was like, I don't have a live fish. And so I was like, I'm going to get a fish, and I'm going to put it in a fishbowl on this kitchen island. We have a kitchen island, and I could just picture, children sitting there eating and a fish, and they're going to say, we've a house.
Because we need more things that are living.
We have 100 farm animals.
Yeah.
And I thought, yes. So I took the children. We got in the car. Josh was out of town, and we went to.
Sometimes I show up and there are more living animals in the. I'm like, what is this
house? Sometimes it's fun. And so I said, we're gonna go pick out a fish, kids. So we go to the pet store. I'm not gonna say the chain. It was a chain. And we looked at all the fish, and we chose just a fan-tailed goldfish. It was like $1.19. It was not expensive. So we go to the man, and I said to the man working there, I was like, I told him what I just told you. I've been reading Edith Schaeffer, and she talked about inspiring creativity, and I want this to be like an animal that lives and thrives and is beauty in our home. And he was like, the requirement to purchase a goldfish is that you need to have a 30-gallon aerated tank pre-prepared for your goldfish. And I was like, are you serious? I had no idea did they have a requirement about a 30-gallon tank? I don't have that. And all the kids were there, and they were like, it's fine. She knows how to take care of animals. My mom's going to love this goldfish. And I was denied buying a goldfish at the pet store. And the kids were like,
they literally told you couldn't buy it, and they didn't sell it to you.
They would not sell me a goldfish. And then I was like, how did Rita Schaefer do it?
Yes.
She didn't have an aquarium at Labrie, let's be honest.
Which I'm not sad, honestly, that we didn't get a goldfish. But yes, there you go.
The kids are having a very creative summer. They're also creative, minus the goldfish. So thumbs up, Edith Schaefer. What have you been reading?
Honest truth.
Yeah. You read a lot.
Fantasy football stuff.
You have to. It's that time of
yes,
year.
it
You
is.
have to.
I love fantasy football. There's my honest admission. I have been reading a lot of fantasy football. But beyond fantasy football, I just finished two. I actually grabbed them so you could see them. I just started Who Not How, and this is basically a book of like delegating and developing teams on steroids. I'm about 35 pages in. So I'll tell you later if it was a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I've heard a lot of people who have said fantastic.
I recommend that book
all the time. Yes. So I figured, there you go. My other one I just finished is this one. Is called Nutrition and Physical Degeneration. This one wasn't for the faint of heart. I think it was 500 plus pages. And it's all marked up and dog-eared for me. This is by a guy named Weston A. Price, dentist. Basically what he did, it's a huge research study. He went all over the world and compared the teeth and the health of people that were eating real food, indigenous diets versus people in the same proximity in the same country that were eating processed Western diets, and compared them. And it is crazy, the health differences. Basically, if you're eating a normal real food diet, you basically don't have cavities. Your teeth are perfect. There was no such thing as orthodontics 100 years ago. Yeah. And you look at the there's pictures all over the place from 100 years ago in here, and their teeth are perfect. It's crazy.
That's nuts.
And their health was you just didn't have a lot of the degenerative diseases at all, or to the same degree that we have today. It was almost unheard of. And so he shared his findings on what leads to physical health, and it's a high fat diet. Basically, every diet's either a seafood base or or animal base, because if you live in a cold climate like Minnesota, you can only grow vegetables for so many
a couple months of the year.
And 100 years ago, it's not like you had transportation to ship them in. So what did you eat? You had animals,
venison.
Venison, and all the other stuff. But that's been really eye opening. We get told a lot in our culture about what not to eat. I remember the fat-free food craze when I was growing up in the 80s. I remember my mom had I don't know if you remember these Nutter Butters that were like fat-free, these cookies.
Yum.
They said fat-free, and my mom was like, these are healthy, they're fat-free. I'm like, all right, it was great. But that's been really good. Highly recommend. Yeah. That is like,
we'll put a link.
Put a link. That's like a game changer book that it'll mess your mind up. Like, this isn't the kind of stuff we hear every day. And
even the topic of orthodontics, that's so like every kid gets braces nowadays, but then to look at that, because they would say don't, it's very controversial.
Yeah, quite but anyways, it's if you're trying to get healthy, that's a real good book to start with and read. All right, Jen, I got a question for you.
Uh-oh.
So let's talk about a little about the why and the what of this podcast.
Yeah.
So would you rather question?
Okay.
Would you rather shovel cow manure or speak at a parenting conference with me?
That's a loaded question, Josh.
I'm generally interested in and I didn't ask her this, so I don't know what she's gonna say.
In my real life, I shovel a lot of cow poop, honestly. But I also speak at parenting conferences. So I love doing both. I mean, that's the truth. I love my cows.
If you have to choose only one.
I would choose you any day.
Oh, good. All right.
I would you any day.
Okay. All right. That's good. I thought I might lose out to Pooh, so that's good.
No. I would love to do
because traveling was kind of tough.
Yeah. So we had a season, a couple of years of pretty significant traveling and speaking together, speaking about our book and speaking at different parenting conferences and just out there encouraging families in a lot of different settings, which was great. I mean, I love being with people. I love meeting people and chatting with people and doing all those things. But the season of life that we're in with kids, I just need to be home. And so it's difficult to travel and to be speaking and leaving the babies.
So it doesn't work well having like 5 kids in a big farm and traveling often.
You'd think it would.
Yeah, you think.
You'd think that'd be super easy.
So
but for some reason, it's not.
Solution? Podcast. Okay, there you go. That's good.
The podcast is it's a nice format. Like we can record. We're just right here in our home, and it's like grabbing coffee with a friend, right? And so you get to chat and listen and glean insight, and we get to do and share the things that are on our heart in real time, as we would if we were speaking to a live audience. But we have the benefit of being able to just be closer to home.
Yeah. And it's fun to do something together.
Yeah, we're a good team.
You know what they say about podcasts?
What?
They say that those who podcast together stay together. So another 25 years. Here we come.
Let's podcast together.
So, I heard I read that somewhere. I know, I'm just kidding.
You always, whenever we go out on Friday nights, and Josh always has so many jokes when we go places. It's very fun. That was a good one.
That was pretty hard.
That's true. You do.
I do sometimes. Get us in trouble.
That's like that line, podcasting. That's funny. I liked it. Yeah. So we're excited for the podcast, and yeah. I mean, there are only so many hours in the day.
Yep.
So we want to maximize those. We want to be good stewards of our time. Just recognizing that we both do have a heart for ministering to people. We do have a ministry that we want to see flourish, and we want to, kindle those fires, but just being good stewards of what God's put in front of us right now.
Yeah. So what is this podcast all about?
You tell me. What is this podcast all about, Josh?
Well, I mentioned RenewaNation, so I want to introduce you a little bit to the ministry of RenewaNation. We exist to transform culture by helping children develop a biblical worldview. So we want the next generation, if you've got kids, grandkids, you're a pastor, you're a Christian educator, we want those kids in your life to think biblically. Mm-hmm. We want them to live biblically. We want them to learn God's word, to love God's word. We want them to live according to it. And of course, today it's a challenge to raise children in the climate that we live in, to not absorb the messages and the just the unbiblical things that they hear every single day with, screens coming in and all the education stuff and, the messages coming through those two mediums and just all the stuff. Yeah. And so it takes a lot of intentionality, and it takes some significant commitment on our parts as parents and those ministering to children to do that. We want this podcast to support you, to strengthen you, to equip you, to help you into that end. And we think it will be a real good blessing. And then we get to have some just fun conversations about faith and family and navigating some of the challenges and issues that pop up for all of us. We're experiencing we're parents of a 19-year-old for the first time. Yeah. And so we're learning what does that entail and what does that look like? And And then each episode that we have, it will cover some kind of topics, touching on things like parenting, grandparenting, marriage, family discipleship, and those will all be from a biblical worldview. And then once in a while, we might even bring a guest or two on that will offer something that is way better than we can, but we think they're great to hear from. And people that we have really benefited from in our life. Could be some authors, could be some speakers, could be some individuals in their fields that are just really, really helpful, helpful to hear from.
Yeah. And, you know, especially with the culture being what it is, I think sometimes we feel like we're alone, right? Or we're kind of swimming against the stream. So there is, you know, just like you have people in your life who you are like-minded with, there is something beautiful about just sitting down with them and talking and coming away feeling refreshed and knowing that you are walking shoulder to shoulder with people and that you're not alone in your desire to raise your kids to know Jesus and to love Jesus. And you're willing to do some of the things that are very countercultural in that process. So we're just hoping that the podcast will be like grabbing coffee with a friend, and you'll walk away feeling refreshed as if you had just, you know, talk with your like-minded people. So we hope that is that for you.
And if you have any topics that you would love to have us explore, feel free to
let us know.
Let us know. Yep, we'd love to hear from you. Anything else before we wrap up today?
I think that's it.
That's it. All right.
Number 1 in the book.
Done. Bam.
Done.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for being here.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Gospel Shaped Family Podcast. Please share this episode and give us a 5-star rating wherever you get your podcasts.